Hey there, Libra. This is Joy with Joy of the World, here to take an intuitive peek into the energy going on around you. Subscribers, welcome back. And if you're new to this channel, click that subscribe button and out beside it, ring that bell, and you'll be notified anytime I post new videos. Also, if you find you like the content here at our channel, make sure you give us a big thumbs up and share with your loved ones, your friends, and your family. Maybe even share it with yourself or pin it to a playlist. All right, so Libra, we have got this crowning card coming in. We've got breakthrough. It's obvious that y'all were wanting it because some repeated cards were trying to come out, other energies about other people. And I said, we're going to focus on you here, Libra, and we need some positive influence, some shake-up energy to come on in and to give you clarity of where the next few days, few weeks are going, okay? And so breakthrough came in. And it says breakthrough shift 180 degrees. Extraordinary. I think that's the word we want to put the finger on here. For you, Libra, opportunity of a lifetime, radical trust required. Interesting. Because the card's already out. As you see, I'm in a different environment. So being that I have a different setup, I have to kind of get a few things out ahead of time. But I have not taken a peek. So let's see where we're going with that. Radical trust required, opportunity of a lifetime. All right, this is something you haven't done before because in these credit cards, we have new beginnings coming on in. So there are winds of change and there's something coming forward, something totally new from where you've been for a minute. All right, you've been there for a minute and you're going to see things you've never seen before because that's what's showing me here. It's a place that you've been and a tree that you've seen, but it's going to begin to bear fruit. And you're like, I didn't even know that was a fruit tree. What is this? You're going to kind of like be blinking and rubbing your eyes like you're waking up in a strange land. Like Kevin in, what was that? Home Alone, where he wakes up and he's sure the family's going to be there, but he's in a different existence at that moment. Or like Wizard of Oz, where she wakes up in a world full of color, right? So it might look like the same old, but you're going to have new eyes to see. You're going to have a whole new experience going on here. That's fantastic because you can see before it took a lot of effort. It had a lot of strain and stretch to it, but now it's going to be crowned with beauty. That's interesting. So let's step in and see what's going on here. So we're going to start at number 40, 6th chakra, Archangel Metatron. He's here awakening, charging up your battery like, what is that? Back to the Future when Doc powers up the flux capacitor and you hear it, powering up like that, getting ready to discharge a massive amount of energy. But this isn't energy that's going to exhaust you. It's like a deployment, like a launch of the space shuttle. It's all systems go, and it has been prepared for and planned. It's planned down to the millisecond. It's been check, double check, recheck, all of that to know that it's thoroughly been inspected. Whether you know this or not, I'm not sure of that just of yet, but you can tell from the spiritual realm and your guides and your support system of what is going on, the energy around you and in life and in the world is powering up and getting ready. Getting ready to make some magic is what Metatron is saying here. And it's funny, he's looking, he's like, I know something you don't know. It's like they have a surprise party planned for you, Libra. I'm trying not to chuckle and giggle at that. You're being given a new pen, a new feather, a new way. It's like a whole new story. You're going to color your world with love. All right, so underneath that we have the Ten of Swords coming in. Look at that. You're coming to put an end to this and the way things have been, your old mindset. It's being cut, trimmed, shaved. It's being exfoliated off, like shaved off, squeegeed off. I see it clearing off, like removing the grime, the muck, the mildew, or like when they strip paint off of a beautiful piece of furniture and they find out that it's got mahogany underneath there. It's got this exotic wood going on that's beautiful and fine and refined, but it had been covered by all these mucky layers that had really just they're showing stuck you in and kept you trapped in this certain way of being, this way of, definitely a way of thinking. It was a way of death, of darkness. And, I have nothing here nor there against dark, but it was a perpetuated cycle that you could not escape nor break. You were even on the horse of death, which is the power of death, Pluto. Okay, somewhere it cut, these cycles of beginnings and endings had to keep happening, which is why you didn't look forward to any new beginnings. You're like, I'm not starting fresh and new. I know how this goes. So wake up, ending. If you've seen Groundhog's Day, it plays out like that over and over and over again, where it's like, fine, we'll just play with this and we'll see how quickly we can end it, how we can cut it off. That could be relationships, that could be jobs that you're like, I'm going to get out of here before anybody else cuts me out or tunes me out or takes me down. I know how this is going to go, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull the plug right here. So there wasn't this like lure of hope anywhere going on. There wasn't fantasy going on anymore. It was, I would say, blasé, but it has a facet even beyond that of like, well, they're saying temperance. So you really kept everything status quo, just humming along like a flat line on a heart monitor, just like that. And you wouldn't allow life to have these experiences of joys. Because if you had that joy, you could also have that deep heartache. You know, the inverse principle of how far up the mountain you're going to have to go back down the other side. And you're like, why try? Why try? It doesn't work out for me. It hasn't worked out for me. I know how this goes. So I've just made peace with it. I won't be riding my dead horse. I don't even have to beat it. My dead horse is alive with me, and we're just going on doing the status quo because we know how this is going to go. But But remember, we have this surprise party, right? Going on in the stars. You got this new quill, this new pen coming in over here because it's going to be a new story. And the neat thing is, it's not just going to be happening to you, it's going to be happening through you as well. You're going to have this uprising, this upwelling of like sensationalism coming along of like, I didn't know it could be like this. And it'll be so genuine and authentic when it comes out of your mouth. Others are going to be experiencing it along with you because they'll be seeing a new you and they'll be caught off guard like, whoa, wait. And that magic will be popping off into their world and into their environment, making magic for them as well. So right alongside Metatron, we have coming in the sun. And the call has been sent out. They're making the mark and you are their target. It's headed straight for you. Your alignment with your solar power. The sun, where our sun is often how our family, the most intimate people, have seen us in our life. So they've been talking lately about those of us who've turned away from that part because we wanted to define our own identity and not just the way those closest to us saw us, because they might be like, well, you know, you're always late, or you're always lazy, or you know how picky you are, and things like that. And you just want to break from that. You didn't want to keep playing out those same old scenes because you felt like somewhere this is a little bit of you going down deep inside in that little land far, far away in the back of your closet. But you had stepped away from your sun sign because of, you know, some of this energy. And they're calling us back. They're calling us back into our sun, into who we are, and deciding what the facets of that power is for us. Like me, I'm a Capricorn sun. So, you know, so what? So what that I see it and I know how to get it done. I just step right off to it, and then I'm fine doing it by myself or with others. Not choosing one way or the other, but it's like, but when I know, I go. I'm ready to get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get it done. And it's not for the accolades or the applause. It's simply because if I see it and I know it, then when I tend to it, then I'm free to have fun because I've gotten the responsibility out of the way. So there's nothing negative about that. But even something that's so innate or natural to you, you can get worn down over time and just feel like, well, I don't want to do that because so-and-so always comments about it. And so we can turn away from that part of ourselves and go on to other facets and get trapped in those. But the sun here is going, not today, my friend. We're aiming you back at your sun. So for those of you listening to this, if this is not your sun sign that you're listening to, go take a listen to that, okay? Also, underneath this, we have the Four of Swords coming in. So we're returning back to a lighter energy of the swords. And in this one, it says it makes you happy. You're being restored, going your own way. You can see in this that you are amongst the clouds. You are amongst family members or whatever else. And yeah, you are a little different and you don't mind. You're like, now that I've been away from it so long, living this horrible feeling, living, you know, this hopeless existence, when this magic, that surprise of Metatron comes back in and you begin to see yourself in your beauty and your magnificence and you own it, and not even having to convince others, but like water off a duck's back, you just let it roll and they say whatever and they realize they can't get in and get under your skin, thus getting your energy discharged from you. And what kind of energy? This magic. Your magic ain't made for the muck and the mire anymore. You're like, you can't have that. You can't have that. You can have the energy of my beauty, of my radiance, and who I am, but you're not going to diminish me. And I'm fine with that. I'm good with that. I've made peace with that, and I like who I am. Go you. I like that. And so now we're stepping in under the central card that we've got going on here. Remember, you are extraordinary, Libra. And underneath this is the Wheel of Fortune. I get dreamy when she comes out of this deck. She's fantastic because this Wheel of Fortune, it goes beyond the daily grind, the turning of the wheel, the turning of the seasons, kind of the drudgery or the patience or the having to wait or those morals and those virtues, to where it has a shock of freedom in there. It has layerings of time. It's almost like a divine recipe of making that cake, and you're putting off the layers and you're putting the frosting or the sweet bits in between, put some strawberries and some cream, whatever else, you're dressing it up as to how it suits you, to what makes your heart beat, what makes your song sing, what puts the skip in your step or the smile on your face. That's what I really hear her telling us in this Wheel of Fortune, because that is what it's called. It's not called a stopwatch. It's not called a clock. This is called the Wheel of Fortune. All right. And she's moving in your favor, and you're going at it unabashedly, like you're willing to see a new side of yourself that you haven't before, because you're tuning in and giving in to your feelings. So much in the spiritual realm, we've been taught that is bad, that is ego, that is, you know what Metatron says to that? He says, wah, I'm going to blast you with my stars and tell that to be silent, because I want that magic, I want that mystery. What child feels wrong for having feelings, having desires, having inklings? Those are the seeds of imaginings and where all the magic comes from. You know, the dreamers of the dreams, like Willy Wonka, right? And that is your magic, and it takes you to new shores. It causes you to blaze a new path because you're willing to go there. You're willing to go there where you're at right now. And it brings you life. It brings your life to beauty. And beauty is like, it's that divine vibration. It's things being as they should and letting them be fulfilling as such. Like, you want a lemon to be zesty. You want a peach to be peachy and juicy and drippy, right? Letting it be the fullness of who and what it is. Let yourself be extraordinary. Let you be a trailblazer, a waymaker, the dreamer of dreams, all right? Because if you dream it, they will come. And life loves that about you. So remember the new beginnings? That things will come to life that you had never even seen them that way before. You hadn't known it existed because it had seemed to be this way all of your life, because you didn't realize you are that new generation coming in. You are the ones who's going to revive things that you had only sensed or heard of but had never seen. Okay, so underneath this we have the King of Discs. That's a whole lot of something going on in this. And you've had a lot of perception going on in regards to that. Whether it had words put to it or not, you weren't too sure of that, but you had feelings about it. You had inklings, you had senses, and you were being drawn towards it, but you were afraid to taste. You were like, I'm fine if it stays in these watery imaginings, these senses, these like sensations, right? But now that it's becoming pragmatic and practical, I'm not so sure about that. I don't know if I want everybody to see what I'm made of, right? Yes, that's what I'm talking about here. To see me as what I really am, see this magical creation and creature that I am. But you are the dreamer of the dreams, because this is coming in very Sagittarian, which is a fiery earth. It's being able to put that seed into ground, the sun, your radiance to shine upon it, and to make the magic happen for that seed, that fruit to come forth. But that's what you're a little concerned about taking this bite, because you know you are the soil. You are the ground in which these stars of magnificence gestate in, right? Remember the beauty? The beauty of the way you see life and you live it, that you're able to feed and nurture and nourish yourself and bring forth this whole new way of trusting oneself, of living life as a divine being, right? But take a bite. Taste and see that life is good, that you are good, innately, inherently good, meaning that you trust yourself, that if you're having these feelings or these inklings or whatever, to follow them and pursue them. They're not, just because you feel good doesn't mean you're wishing harm on anybody else or you're depriving anybody else of their own personal pleasure. But that came from kind of being picked on when you were a kid and thinking that, wow, you being happy or satisfied somehow disrupted other people's worlds. And you're like, you didn't want that. That wasn't at your core of your being, but it threw you in this energy to withdraw who you really were. So here, this, tasting and seeing, putting those seeds of your imagination in the soil of yourself, in your beautiful mind, in your own radiance, is going to cause this tree to flourish. It's like feeding the tree of love, sowing the seeds of love. And see, it's not braggadocious or bodacious. Look at that sun just gently shining you and your nadis and your radiance and your sacral chakra, right? Being met with your willpower of choosing to be who you really are. Next to that, we have coming in Avenoir number 1. Oh, hey, right. You got right back on page with yourself. Make peace with your past. And that's what you've done here in your mind, right? And you had decided that, you know what? I'm okay with who I am and my awesomeness and my success. Don't diminish me. But not having to make the external effort of convincing others of that. You have just convinced yourself. But here, it shows that your world begins to align and turn with that and get on the same page with you, because you no longer entertain those energies. You no longer continue to subject yourself to that environment, because Libra can often put themselves in difficult positions to play with the energy of the scale, to see how you get out of it, to try and gain wisdom, and therefore you can get weary and keep going through some of the same scripts and cycles when you didn't have to. While others get the niblets and the goodies of that wisdom. But now you've truly delved into yourself and getting the goodies and the wisdom and the seeds of self and sowing them and tasting them and enjoying the goodness. And here you can see it making life down in your belly. It's begun. The roots have shot all over the place, and you're making up for lost time is what I hear here, Libra. That's fantastic. And it's already setting fruit. And you have many helpers and many workers, and some of them will seem like unlikely characters, but they're pointing the finger at the word character. And you've come to know it doesn't matter what others see or how they see you. You're seeing people clearly. You're seeing them in their heart because of your radiance, that new perception that you have through this Metatron energy, that surprise party of trusting your gut, trusting your instincts and your intelligence, your intuition, to lead you on the right path and to connect you with the right people. It's like the island of misfits. That was my favorite part about the Rudolph story. It's like Rudolph had to go through all that to let others know how amazing and wonderful they are and unique they are and loved. I like that. Libra, you showing love to those around you through your beauty, through your courage and your passion. And oh, look what that brings, reciprocity. Honeybee, your whole magical world, that's what I'm seeing here. Your whole world begins to take root and take place. Because as you love these others for who they are, for their character, the island of misfits, those who've been tossed away, is like not fitting the norm, right? Not matching up with all the other clouds or other people's ideas, or maybe even family murmurings or world murmurings when they were growing up, that you're like, oh, you a boss at that. I like that about you, the differences in how they operate. And you draw the light onto their character. You pollinate their character with your sweet perspective, with your gentle embracing, your loving kindness of others and who they are, giving them room to be their true selves. And that makes a whole new world, a beautiful place for all of us to live. And I'm excited to see this coming out through you, Libra, that you have shared this magnificent journey with us, and especially with me, getting to walk through this with you. I hope this blesses your day and encourages you to be the best you that you are, to believe in yourself, and to carry it all the way through. You got support and help on your side saying, surprise, we're coming. It's a whole new day in a whole new way. I love you. Bye.